and today we're going to explore the history of jam skating. You know that dope mix of break dancing and roller skating that we all love? Well, let's get it popping. Generally, when you hear about the history of jam skating, it starts in the 1970s with the disco boom. Today, I want to go back to the roots of the moves in the early 1900s. In the early 1900s, different African American communities began to develop their own regional styles. One of such communities was the skate community in Chicago. In Chicago, the roots of JB were laid inside of the Savoy Ballroom, where the band would play all night and people would show their stuff. In addition to skating in Chicago, African Americans were skating all over the United States. When Bill Butler retells his time at Empire, he describes that when he first arrived at Empire in 1957, they were listening to organ music. One of the first things that he did was suggest a new soundtrack. Afterwards, Bill Butler went to change the skate world by developing a skate technique that would go on to become the jamming technique. On the path to create the jamming technique, Bill Butler learned different regional styles and improved on those styles in order to help create the New York style that we practice today. I wanted to talk about the developments that people were making in roller skating specifically because many times when we retell the story, it starts at the 70s, we give the flowers to the disco, but we skip over all of the people who helped create the moves and create the culture that we continue to practice today. The fusion of disco and roller skating brought about a global skating boom. Over 4,000 roller discos were open, and there were even movies made like Xanadu and Roller Boogie. Japan even caught the vibe. As Toure Clark describes in his chapter of the evolution of skating, he learned how to jam skate in Japan at the Naha roller rink. When you look at the people skating at Naha, there is a direct connection to the moves that are being performed in the United States. Jumps, low spin. Okay, we got the group dancing in the downtown style. Ooh. They on the ground. Everybody's on the ground. Boom. Boom. Yank. Boom. Everybody hitting them things. Ha. 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 Ain't no way every Friday night. Backflip, a straight up backflip. Emoting. I wanted to check this one out because this is a roller skating competition from Naha, Japan in 1988. We got some crazy legging. We got a lot of crazy legging. Some pivots off the crazy leg. Alpha kicks. Low spins. Low spins. Extension. Back up and around. Ooh, low spin. I want y'all to remember this spin because this right here, this spin right here, we're gonna see this later. Ooh, this is a straight up, what's it called? Artistic entry. All the way to the ground. Split. Oh, he hitting all types of ways first. Fake out split. This is a true show person. So there's a connection between the way that they're skating out in Japan, and there's a connection to the way that we're skating in the United States. People were beginning to incorporate breakdancing maneuvers into their skating. However, it wasn't the focus. As jam skaters continue to develop, the amount of power moves that are incorporated increases. People's understanding in the way that they're performing the moves, it's not inside of the form, and it's not with the technique that we're doing in the modern days. If you look at him, he's tucking one of his legs behind the other. When you're first starting the flares, this is how it looks. One leg goes and the other one goes behind. But in more modern videos, people have both of their legs out, and that's something I'll point out a little bit later. Second, in the video that we just watched, notice how everybody was skating. In a circle. Everybody's performing. Everybody's here to appreciate each other. Although there were roller skating competitions, it was a communal event. As jam skating continues to develop, it becomes more of a competitive activity, and that's something that we're going to see as we continue to learn today. When disco fever wore off, many of the roller skating rinks that had been hastily opened had to be closed, and roller skaters retreated back to their regional rinks to develop their regional styles. The regional style that would become jam skating is the shuffle, rexing / toe jamming style. I want y'all to remember that song Iceberg too. I don't know, there's just something about this. Developing in Middle America, shufflers and the shuffle skaters, we still haven't made it to where modern jam skating is or competitive jam skating is. In 1997, Chris G created the Jam Skating Association to unite multiple clubs in Florida with a similar skate style. By 2002, the World Skating Association was sanctioning jam skating events worldwide. Forming the Jam Skating Association would create a shift in jam skating culture that would change the sport forever. As James Wilson, aka Mr. Jamskate, points out, in the 90s, people didn't call it jam skating. They might call it shuffling or toe jamming. Creating an official governing body made jam skating a sport. And from this point on, people would compete in jam skating competitions. Date, April 1st, 2000. It's been 24 years since the year 2000. First thing I want everybody to notice, look at the skates. Look at their skates. This is when people start skating in the low-cut skates. Boom. Second thing I want to point out, there's a lot more teams, and it's a lot more in the middle. Most of these videos are from competitions. Let's look at where our skaters are. We got some people shuffling here for a little bit, but most of the skating rink experience is happening outside of these people who are choosing to skate like this. There is an entire skate party happening around everybody. They are on stage performing. This is a straight up competition. This is a group of people working on their moves in the middle, while we have people on the outside. This is a big shift. This is a really, really big shift in focus. Now the shuffling / toe jamming becomes a part of the jam skating competition. When people are skating for fun, it's just a general bop. But when you see people in competitions, they're coming around the corners and doing routines like the Griffin brothers. Ooh, now that's some fancy shuffling. Dang. Oh, they're still not completely power move heads. There is some groundwork. There is some people who are skating inside of the middle for long periods of time, but it's not the entire culture. Jam skating competitions kind of mirrored artistic roller skating competitions. There's different events, and one of the most popular events is the full-blown floor routine. That's where you have one skater in the center of the rink showing their stuff. I'm gonna show you a video from a skater. You might know him. Tony Zane, break skate, 2003, Winter Nationals. What do you think he gonna look like? Pixely. Look like they shot this joint on a Samsung. Straight razor footage. Just twerked a little bit. Showed everybody his abs. Look at how fast he's hitting that floor. Look how fast he's coming around the circle. So quick pause. Let's look at the time. He was on the ground for about 10 seconds. This is Tony Zane in 2003, ground for 10 seconds. He's been shuffling for about a minute. As jam skating got more popular, different companies formed teams to promote their products. One of the most famous jam skating teams of all times rose to prominence during this time as well, Team Ryale. Team Ryale was the premier jam skating team for the early years of jam skating.
We started out doing performances at rink shows. We'd stay there for the weekend and we'd do a performance, we'd hold a class to teach the skaters some stuff, and we'd just kind of hang out with the local skaters. And it was pretty cool because after a year of traveling around and performing at all these skating rinks, we noticed that a lot of teams started to pop up from the places that we already visited. So it's pretty cool to know that, we were a major influence with the teams sprouting up and helping jam skating kind of grow.
Well, in 2005, Team Ryale's greatest competition would be started in a dorm room, Team Vanilla. This would start the Team Ryale versus Vanilla wars. At every single skate competition, it was always a question. Who was better, Team Ryale or Team Vanilla? Team Ryale had raised the entire bar on jam skating. By forming a professional team and pushing themselves to be consistent with their routines, Team Ryale was just cleaner. Additionally, their power moves had snap. So they were not slouches when it came to jam skating competitions. On the other hand, there was Team Vanilla, a newer, more rambunctious team, but they had something that Team Ryale would not be able to compete with long term. Tony Zane and Diamond Walker. I want to talk a little bit about skate battle math before I talk about this next thing. In order to win a skate battle, you have to show the judges that you can do all of your moves as well as your opponent's moves, and then have one or two more moves to really stamp it home. Tony Zane and Diamond Walker broke this meta by having 5 power move sets to go up against anybody's sets. So, in addition to being able to top rock and Rex with everyone, they would hit the ground and put skate battles out of reach. These performances helped establish Vanilla as a credible skate team, and it laid the roots for them to still be a credible skate team
to this day. To this day. To this day.
In addition to the Team Ryale versus Team Vanilla rivalry, this period of jam skating was also marked by some amazing media gems. Roll Bounce 2005, ATL 2006, and it was all capped off in 2010 when Break Skate made an appearance on America's Best Dance Crew. America's Best Dance Crew changed American culture forever, and it propelled different teams into the zeitgeist of the culture to this day. Break Skate wowed the world by coming in and dancing on skates, something that most people were not able to do or even fathom. But unfortunately, they got sent home week 4.
I want to thank all of our supporters nationwide. It's to all the young people out there, always follow your dreams, because that's what we've done, and no matter what, we're a success.
And with the Break Skate elimination came the end of roller skating's push in the media, because for the next 10 years, jam skating and roller skating as a whole pretty much went dormant. I like to call 2010 to 2019 the dark ages for jam skating. Although it wasn't gone by any stretch of the word, the boom was over. And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. That means that a lot of the jam skating media that I had grown to love began to die out one by one. Team Ryale moved away from their jam skating team promotional model towards the influencer-based promotional model that they use today. And I also want to pay attention to this tag, jam. These skaters up here, they're not jam skaters. There's no jam skaters. Dance, dance, rhythm dance, street part, rhythm dance, street part, rhythm dance, street part, rhythm dance, street. There's no more jam skaters. It's only the Legacy Squad. And popular jam skating sites like Jam Skating Online and LearnToJamskate.net were closed down for good. I can't even find the DVD that they used to sell on LearnToJamskate.net, and I tried. Although there were still competitions, they definitely waned in popularity, and eventually, Vanilla had to pause their Summer Jam series. Although it wasn't mainstream, there was a core community of people dedicated to the sport who were still training. Roller skating got a new lease on life in 2020 when the world shut down and everyone turned to roller skating. This created a boom on social media and brought many influencers into the space. And for a time, the term jam skating got a little diluted. People would use jam skating to describe any dancing on skates. Eventually, roller skating historians would take to the internet and set the record straight. People like the Griffin brothers famously brought shuffling to the world stage. The coolest part about their page is they practice routines that people would do inside of jam skating competitions, and they have like 1 million followers. That means that the Griffin brothers were able to get the whole world into the shuffle skate gang. Additionally, artists like Usher and Dua Lipa started incorporating roller skaters in their shows. Usher famously had a residency in Vegas where he would skate every single night. And this culminated in a Super Bowl performance that etched roller skating into the hearts and minds of people around the world for generations to come. With this boom on social media and the adoption of roller skating by major artists, major production studios started pouring money into roller skating projects. So there's a roller skating movie on Disney. And HBO sponsored a roller skating competition known as Roller Jam. Now, jam skating is looking brighter than ever. In addition to professional opportunities, there's also opportunities to compete and win in the National Jam Skating League. So it's an amazing time to be a jam skater.
Well, if you liked the video or you learned something, drop a like. If you want to hear me talk about roller skating history some more, you might as well subscribe. And if you have a question that you want me to answer or something that you need me to research, drop a comment down below and I'll take a look at that ASAP. My next video is going to be the evolution of rhythm skating, and I'm super duper excited to get started. Well, until next time, see you, Boss Tweezy.